Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today we have a very special unboxing, something that came in from the pass around. Yeah, today I think we're going to be taking a look at something that came in from Miguel EDC, something in the pass around that I'm really excited to take a look at. Alright, today I'm opening it up with my ProTech Mordax Magnacut button flipper, my favorite button flipper of all time. First one that really got me into the whole thing. So, love this knife. It was my grail for the longest time. Now, I'm trying to figure out where the heck is the... where did I open this thing? Come on now. I don't know where it is. I don't know. There we go. All right. We got an Axial knife. Interesting. And a fixed blade. All right. All right. Interesting. Interesting. With tape. Ooh, I'm not a fan of that. Oh, well, okay. All right. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it because it leaves stuff and can pull up my card and stuff. Did it pull up the carbon camo carbon? All right, so, well, you kind of know what this already is. I don't know what this is. I think, is this another knife? Let's see. Are we opening two different things? What is this? Oh, okay. All right. All right, so I guess that's the inserts. Okay. All right, fair enough. Okay, so I guess that's the inserts that go with this. Okay, and then I guess this is the tool. I think I saw Kevin from Lefty EDC. This is from Kevin's pass around. So this is the, I don't know what this is. It's an Axial knife fixed blade. So I'm gonna have to try to look it up real quick because no clue. I thought there'd be more paperwork or something with it. All right, so this is the Alpine fixed blade from Axial Knives. It is a fixed blade. It comes with a nice Kydex sheath here, as you can see, an ulti clip. I like the color. It matches, I guess, the I don't know, the green camo carbon, whatever that is, maybe jungle or something. I don't know. Let's see, what do we got here? My hands hurt my hand here a little bit. All right, so for the grip, oh, it's a little small. It's cool, but it's definitely for a small hand. Okay, I am 3.5 fingers on this thing. And all the way choked up, I'm right at 4 fingers. So large hands with big meaty fingers, that's it. Maybe extra large hands with regular size fingers or double extra large hands with really thin fingers, and that would work for you. But if your hands are any bigger than this, no, it's too small. Unless you're okay with 3 fingers, but I'm not. Definitely like the stone wash. It's cool. Let's see that edge. Not a bad edge. I mean, well, I don't know if that's strop or is that just dirty. Here, hold on. Let me... it looks like it was just dirt, I guess. All right. So USA made blade, which is really cool. USA fixed blade. Apparently these scales pop off or something, I guess. I think there's this tool, whatever it is, this thing here. Yeah, I guess this goes in here, I believe, in here like this. You can go in like this, and then you can push it. There we go. Yeah, so that's what the tool does. So you go in here, and then these are magnetically kept on there. Okay, so it's a steel tang, attaches to the blade. Full tang all the way through. I like the jimping that they did on here. It's a little cutout. This is where you can, the tool comes in. You can see that right there. The little tool comes in like that. I think that's pretty cool, right? And then these can be, there's 2 magnets, and you just put them in there, and they pop right in like that. That's kind of cool. I like that. It's a little small. I like it a lot. I like the shape of it. I wish it was just a hair bigger. You know what I mean? So if you're looking for a really small, fixed, tactical, or whatever, you know, easy EDC type of knife, this is definitely going to be something up your alley. I believe this is Magnacut, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here real quick. Is it Magnacut? Let me look at that. Yep, CPM-Magnacut. I don't know what their Rockwell hardness is. Did they say? I'm going to guess it's probably around 62, maybe. Maybe it's more. I don't know. But I wouldn't know unless I had a chance to use it for a while. But I do like that. I like the shape of it. Nice and chamfered all the way around. You know, when it's small like this is actually where a lanyard might make sense, right? Big old titanium lanyard there, I guess, if you're carrying it. Let's see this Kydex sheath. Nice locked in. A little loose. You know, that's only the problem. Sometimes it's a little loose down there. It's in place, and if you're pushing out, you can definitely do the one hand kind of release, you know, pushing off like that. So depending on how you carry this blade, so this is like in pocket like this, right? So you go in the pocket like this, but you can adjust this and have it go this way. Now there's only 2 holes here and 1 there. Maybe you want a second clip, but you'd want a shorter clip certainly for that. This is sort of meant to be in the pocket, kind of a carry, you know, straight in the pocket and hold in like that, which is cool. For some people, they really like that. Maybe a back pocket, maybe a front side pocket or whatever. So it is kind of nice, interesting, very square sheath. I like that. I mean, it's functional Kydex sheath for sure. I can see this is multi-purposed, right? Because there's a warning, I believe they have as well. Is that the only one that they have? Is just a warning? No, I think they have. I thought they had 3 blade shapes. They have a drop point, a tanto, and a warning. Yeah. So the tanto would probably fit in there as well. Okay. And then let's see, what is the warning? And the warning would be, okay, so the warning would be probably down to the tip like there, and then the tanto would probably be right there, come up. So that makes sense. All right. So it's a multi-purpose Kydex sheath. I can see that. It does lock in place nicely. That's cool. It has a nice finger guard, which is important when you're using this. There's not a whole lot of texture. It's a little slippery. And, you know, with a small one, so if you're going to hard use this, I mean, it's pretty thin. So we'll do some measurements here because we're going to make this a unboxing and a kind of an impression video. I don't think I'm going to do a review on this. But I do think it's deserving of a good look over, right? So let's do that. I like this T8 screws there, so you can definitely take these off and replace them if you wanted to put something else on there. You can obviously remove the lanyard if you're not a lanyard fan, which I'm not. I don't really care for it. I like the chamfering all the way around. There's no sharp areas. You do have a little sharpening tool. It's kind of small, but it'll work. There's no jimping on top, so you got to make sure you got a good presentation. It is, like I said, it's going to be a little slippery, but you have enough texture there to kind of get a good presentation. So when you hold it, you can do a push cut. You're not going to have any texture for, a controlled push cut. It's going to slide a little bit. It's a pretty thin blade. It's got a nice little swedge on top, which is nice for maybe a directional cut. I prefer the drop point over a tanto or warnie personally, and some people would prefer something else. It already has some little scratches, and I'm wondering if that's from the Kydex sheath. Sometimes that's the only thing about fixed blades when you have Kydex sheath, right? Some people like fixed blade, like the leather sheath, because the leather sheath is a little softer on the blade. It's not going to scratch it, whereas a Kydex will if it has a rub point. And so if it does, you're just going to wear it. But the idea of a Kydex is you can hard use it. And if you hard use it, then you're definitely going to want to go in and out. And I mean, it's expected, right? It's probably going to get dirty and everything like that. I have 4 fixed blades right now. I'm going to have 3 soon because I'm going to give one away. But there are my McNeese Ridge Runner. I love that one. My Tactile Knife Company Dread-Eye. Love that one. And then I have my strop knives. I don't know exactly what it's called. I know it's like a A5, B5, something. I don't know. It's got a number to it, but that was given to me as a gift. And I love that one because I hard use that one around the house and do crazy things with it because it's meant to be used. And you can't even tell because of the unique texture on the blade. So anyways, this one is definitely, it is stone washed, which is going to allow it to not show up as much. I mean, you can still see, you can see some of the wear here, and that's from the Kydex sheath. I don't know if can we get that in there? But it's not as bad. I mean, it just looks like it's part of it, right? So that's the nice benefit for that. I do like ulti clips. They have different size ulti clips. This is the long one. This looks like it's probably, where's my tape measuring? Is that the 2.5-inch one or 3-inch one? I don't know. Let's see. Oh, that's a 3.5-inch one. Almost a 4-inch. Yeah, 3.25 maybe. I think they measure it from here to here, so it's probably 3.25-inch one. I have the 2-inch one on the other one. So I also use a tech lock. I like the tech locks as well. Those are pretty cool too, because I can wear that on my duty belt or regular belt, right? So that's cool. All right, so let's go ahead and probably get a little measurement on this guy. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, so let's measure it all together with the lanyard and everything. So we're looking at 5.6 ounces total. The blade with the lanyard, we're looking at 3.8 ounces, which means that this is going to be about 1.8 ounces. Yeah, 1.8 ounces. Let's do this without the lanyard and kind of measure it. If we can get the lanyard just kind can take some of the weight. You know what? I'm just going to hold it like, I'm going to just hold it like this. All right, so it's about 3.5, 3.6 ounces, right? With the lanyard, it's about 0.3 ounces for the lanyard. So, you know, it adds a little bit of weight to it. Not too terrible. And then let's look at the overall length. So let's measure the overall length. So we're going to go with the sheath all the way to the lanyard. We got 11 inches, right? If we look at the sheath to the end of the blade, it's a 7.5-inch knife. Width-wise, this sometimes is important for lateral carry. It's about 2 inches, right? So we get up to a maximum, I'd say about 2 inches there. All right, so let's look at the actual blade shape itself and measure that from the tip to the back. So that puts it right under 7 inches. It's about 6 and, I want to say 6 and 7/8, right? The overall grip, if I go from here to, from here to here, and probably gonna get in about here, about 3.5 inches. So 3.5 inches, like I said, if you got big meaty fingers like me, I mean, this is right at the limit. I can barely get it in there. I'm a little over, and I don't like that. And without any texture, any sort of good grip on there, and that does bother me just a little bit. Even just a little, I don't know, texture, something on there would be nice. But you know what? Let's see. These guys have texture. Maybe we should just, before I keep dogging it for that, I should probably be fair and let's try it with one of these and see if that, maybe that gives me the grip that I'm looking for, right? There we go. Whew. All right. All right, let's feel the textures on here. Definitely more aggressive texture on this one. Put these over here. Let's try this at first. It gives you kind of a tan, coyote, micarta. But here's the reality. Sometimes people call this green micarta, which I don't get. There's some texture there, definitely. A little better, still really smooth. And it's really hard for my big hands. So to me, it's, yeah, I like it. I think this is going to be a really cool, I like the fact it's USA made. It's really beautiful. I love the aesthetics on it. I think the size is just going to be a challenge for me. And I think if you like smaller EDC knives, you'll love this. If you got smaller, thinner hands, you're going to really like this. I think I'm going to recommend it based on the design and the target audience. This is obviously not targeted for bigger hands. It's not. I mean, this is meant to be a minimalistic, mini little EDC kind of knife. And if you like 3.5 fingers and that's comfortable, and you know, probably if you're probably love lanyards, this will be great. It'll be absolutely wonderful. But if you're not, you're going to struggle a little bit like I am. So realistically, I have about 3.5 inches of grip. The blade length itself is going to be, from the tip up there, is going to be about 3 and I want to say 3/8. The overall cutting length of the blade is going to be 3 1/4. So that's what we're dealing with. And then let's go ahead and see what is the overall thickness of this blade. If I can get it to stand. Let me see if I can reset this real quick. Hold on a second. I didn't center it. I got to get the directions, but this will at least tell me from here. So we're looking at 104, 105 thousandths of an inch, getting out to the very tip where we're getting down to, 74 thousandths of an inch. So not super thick blade stock in the back, but not super crazy thin, but definitely gets super thin on the outside. So it's a beautiful slicer. It's going to definitely come to a nice thin cutting edge, depending on the angle and the edge that you have on there. I think Kevin asked somebody to resharpen this, and I think somebody put an edge on there. I'm not going to mess with that because that's already been done. And I'm not going to test this knife or do anything with it, but definitely cool in that regard. So I think this would make a great light use EDC knife as far as I'm concerned. I think it's definitely cool in that regard. I think there's something to be had there. I find it a little small, right? But the price is great. It's like $189, $190, about $200 you can get. Now if you get the full micarta handles, that might be a little bit better for me. They do make full micarta handles. I might enjoy that more, and it has texture all the way across. So, that's an option. Definitely an option. I feel like I'm right at the edge right there. And as I'm using this knife, as I'm going to be using it, this is where my hand's going to sit. And you can see I'm at 3.5 fingers. And I'm not super comfortable with that. And I don't have any place to really grip and not slip. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a fantastic, like you want to carry around the house, cut boxes, you want to cut things open, you know, work in the yard, work in the garage. I think it's great. I think it's great. As long as you're not doing any sort of prying, because it does get thin in the tip. So I think you're going to enjoy that. And so there's a positives to that. I think that's its target audience. It's not meant for people who aren't into smaller blades. If you're into smaller blades, you're going to dig this. I think it's well made. It's absolutely well made. I love the fact, I think these are T8s or are they T10s? Where's my little toolbox? Let me see. Actually, I have this now. My little tool here. So this is T8s right here. So let's see. That might be a little big. Let's see. Is it T10? So it's a T10. It's not a T10, but could it be a T9? So I have some unique sizes. Where did I put them? I thought I put them. That's T8, T6, T8s. Did I have a T9 over here? Those are all T8s. I guess I don't have it over here. I'm going to just go with a T8. So let's see. I guess it's a T8. Oh, well, I'll tell you what it is. These are stripped. These look almost stripped. Wow. I guess somebody maybe has taken this apart. Wow. They're a little deep too, but they look like, yeah, so, I mean, maybe people have been taking this knife apart like crazy, which I guess is fine. I don't do that. When it's in the pass around or I'm loaned a knife, I treat it with, I don't do anything to the knife. And you can fault me for it. You may not like my reviews. You feel like you got to beat it up, bang it up. I'm not that guy. I'm the guy who, I'm going to treat if it's borrowed or loaned or pass around, I'm going to make sure it gets returned in the same manner, if not better, than the way I received it, right? I'm not going to take it apart. I'm not going to adjust it. I'm not going to sharpen it. I'm not going to do any of those things. Probably won't even cut paper with it, right? And right now, me cutting anything would be kind of pointless because I was way low in the totem pole. And I think like 12, 15 people have already had this knife. So it's probably been cut and resharpened quite a few times. So it wouldn't even be an adequate, you know, factory edge sort of thing. So we're just going to look at this, the aesthetics, the feel, the shape of the blade, how it works all the way around. There's a lot of things I really like about it. I really do. But at $200, you know, and you get into titanium, you can get up to $300, especially with all this stuff. This could be $300. You know, when you have these swappable scales or inlays, magnetic inlays, by the way, right? When you have these magnetic inlays, you do get to the point where, you know, it's a little more expensive, but it gives you options. And if that's very important to you, you'll really enjoy that. So I mean, it's definitely worth checking out. So let's go ahead and do a little quick zoom in here. We'll take a look at that blade itself. It's a nice drop point. You see that nice wedge on there. Then we can go ahead and see the handle right there. Nice chamfering. Full tang all the way through. You do see the CPM-Magnacut right there, right? And then we can see the lanyard loop right here. It's kind of a little cut out, so it's nice and tight in there. So this doesn't stick out and bulge, which would have been nice as a way to catch it from slipping out of your hand. Sometimes lanyards, I know they stick out and it's kind of a thicker paracord, so I use. It does have like texture up on top, but this is absolutely worthless texture. There's just no point in it. That's purely aesthetic. That's all that is. It has no other functionality. I mean, it looks nice, but don't expect it to do anything, right? That's just the reality. I'm running my hands across hard and I can barely feel it. So this is not going to be functional in any way. It just looks nice. And if you like the way it looks, then you're all set, right? No jimping on the top of the blade here. You can see that. All right, so let's look at the other side of the blade. I think, I looked at this side, right? No, this is the USA side. You can see that. You can definitely see a lot of use on this knife. Well, I will not contribute to that. I'm going to just look at it and appreciate it. You can see these were screwed on and off quite a bit. They look a little stripped to me. Then here's a nice big old lanyard. It's titanium. That is cool. It does add a little extra. You can buy that. I think it's like 15 bucks or something. And then you can see, again, this is the top of it that I was talking about. Hopefully I showed it. I wasn't taking it out of the screen, but you can see that. It's just, there's no texture. I can't even feel it as I go across, right? And then that's the hole where you push it out with the tool. Yeah, so, I mean, not bad looking. I like the look of the knife overall. I think it's kind of cool. So let's take a nice little close look up here for our little shot for the video unboxing and review, or whatever you want to call this. Definitely see the scratches on that. It's going to show. Oh, well. At least you know people are using it, I guess, right? And then let's look at the back. So there we go. That might be a better shot. I don't know. There you go. Nice little fixie, nice little fixed blade. I like it. There's a lot to be liked about. I mean, if I was looking for just a small fixed blade, I mean, this would be great for my wife, I think. Nice small little one. She can get the color that she wanted. Kydex sheath is nice. It does click in. It's pretty well retained. You know, it's been used quite a bit, passed around quite a bit, so it's got a little bit of movement, and that's typical after use. The ulti clip is cool. Absolutely going to secure your clip in place. I like ulti clips. They're always really fantastic. This is the little screws with a little rubber piece in there, and you can adjust that. Sometimes you can do a little up and down in the pocket. Like you could have the clip go up a little bit higher if you wanted this really far deep into the pocket. Some people will do that, right? Yeah, I mean, it's not a super thick lanyard. Paracord, but it is, you know, it's functional. You can reach it and grab it. So definitely, if you have a small hand and it slips out of your hand, you can catch it like that, right? So there you go. You can catch it on the paracord, which is nice. Yeah, a cool fixed blade. I like the fact Axial is making this USA made. It's a great price point for a USA made knife. I mean, it competes absolutely with the Dread Eye, just the base model. The Dread Eye by Tactile Knife Company has rich light micarta. This one would have it would be all like G10 or micarta, the whole scale, instead for this titanium part that you see out here, just a piece of micarta with none of these magnets. And so that's like, I think 189 or somewhere around there. So very competitive. It is a little smaller. I will say the grip on this one feels smaller than the Tactile Dread Eye. Let me just compare that real quick and show you that even though that knife I think is longer, I have more of a grip on the other one. At least I think so. Maybe it's in my head and the way I can grip it. All right, so so we are right there. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit so we can see that a little bit better. Yeah. All right, so this does get me a little bit longer because this lanyard loop goes out a little bit and out here. So I have that I can reach onto. Let's see here. I can choke up a little bit more on this, whereas this one is kind of limited in how far because you can't really choke up more, and it kind of digs into your hands. So see, if I could really choke up like that, I would have a little more room, but that gets very uncomfortable. So the really comfortable spot for me on this knife is going to be right here, which means that's about where I'm going to be right there. And on here, what's the comfortable spot? Oh, I can be all the way up there. All the way there is totally comfortable. So, all right. So to compare it, apples to apples, oranges to oranges, where I could be comfortable, it's going to be about right there in the width area. So you can see this one definitely gives me more grip. And it's because of my meaty fingers. Now, if you have thinner fingers, maybe you can choke up a little bit more. But for me, I get about a ½ an inch. At least maybe ½ an inch. Let's see. Yeah, about ½ an inch more on the grip. So for me, I can go all the way up to here. It says 3.5, but it really is 3 3/4. Realistically, for me over here where I was comfortable, it's going to be about right there. I was measuring that. So I am, where was I? About right there. Yeah. So I'm about I want to say 3 3/8. Whereas over here, I can really bring it all the way up. We're at maybe 3 3/4 if you come all the way over here. Yeah, maybe a little over. So it's a ½ an inch, 1/4 inch, whatever. You know, you guys, that may not make a big deal. For me, it does, you know, when you're right at that limit. Because this knife, I can definitely choke up on. And I've got texture on here, so I don't feel like it's going to slip out of my hand. And when I choke up, I can really choke up tightly, and I still have all that grip area there, so that works for me. Whereas here, I can really comfortably choke up to about right there. Yeah. Just an interesting comparison. Now, it does have a bigger blade, obviously. right? It's a little thinner blade than this one. This one's a little thicker, more robust blade. This is 3V. I did have the Magnacut version, but this is the Magnacut version here. So we are dealing with that. All right, very cool. So overall, what are my thoughts on this? What do I think about this knife? Without zooming in, what do I think about this knife? I will tell you that I like it. I'm gonna, I'm gonna do my recommendation. Fidgety goodness. It's a fixed blade. You get a 1. That's all you get. You got a nice Kydex, you might get a 1.25 or 1.5, but this gets a 1. It's 1. Going in and out, it's a little it is satisfying to me. So yeah, I'll give that a 1. Fidgety goodness. It's a fixed blade. You don't fidget with it. It just goes in and out. You use it. So, it's going to be an A because for what you need it for. It's the tool. It's the tool I always tell you. Get the right tool for the right job. And sometimes when I say get a fixed blade, this is the tool that I would recommend. Or this or my McNeese Ridge Runner, right? Something like that. Those are all really good tools to consider. It's interesting. This is set up for lefty. No, it's for drop down the pocket carry. So in that regard. Now, opening and closing, getting it in is not bad. It's pretty easy. It does lock in place. It has a nice click, a nice locked in secure. You can push it out. It has that little push button, so it's nice to push out when you're trying to get it out of your pocket. So that is really cool. I do like that. It does have some place to rest your hand, so it does have texture. It's not going to feel like it's going to completely slip out of your hand. I did have one that was perfectly round and straight. Oh, did not care for that. I felt like that was just a knife waiting for me to slide up to cut my finger, or slice it off, or just slip right out of my hand. You got to give me something to grip on a hand. That's not cool. I can tell you that's the type of knife I will never carry and do not like. I don't care how cool it is. I don't care how expensive it is. I don't even care if it's a custom. I'm not going to like it. End of story. So you got to give me texture. You got to give me something to grip. Very cool. So this has all of that. I think that's really good. I think the target for this knife is, like I said, smaller hands, probably medium hands, maybe large hands with thinner fingers, normal sized fingers, not big old meaty fingers like mine. So I think that would be a really good target for this knife. With that in mind, and understanding that sometimes knives are made for particular people. I mean, this is not a knife for Shaquille O'Neal. Unless you want Shaquille O'Neal to have a little, probably 2-finger knife, this would probably be a 2 or 3-finger knife for him. It would be really, really small. So, and his hands would triple wrap all the way around this. So he might find this really, really small. Unless he wanted a super small, this could be like a neck knife for the guy. Okay, so I mean, that's the reality. All right, but I will say that it's for that audience. I think it's fantastic. I think it's well made. I like everything about it. I want to give you caution. If you follow my channel, if you've got big meaty fingers, you got big hands, and you want something that's substantial, I feel like something that's going to give you texture. I mean, even my Mordax here has more texture with this honeycomb, right? That to me that's beneficial. This has texture on the Richlite micarta, Richlite paper micarta. This is definitely texture. You can actually hear it. Let's listen. You see that? You can feel it. If I use my nail, you can hear that. So this is really, it's got texture. I like this. And for me, this is what started me on fixed blades. This is just a little too small. I like the look of it. If I was to get one, I would absolutely. If my wife wanted a fixed blade, we're going somewhere and she needed a fixed blade, we're camping or something. Yeah, I don't think that'll ever happen, but if she did, this would be a great knife, right? Absolutely great knife. So that's where I'm going to come from. And based on that, I'm going to recommend it with my Astras for smaller hands, or for people who like really small knives. If you're into small knives, you got big hands, here you go, man. You're going to love this. If you just wanted something really tactical, really small, something that was kind of out of the way, but you got big hands, but you still wanted something small, this is it. I mean, I think this is a great little knife. You're going to like it. It's thin. It's a slicer. It's going to be beautiful in the office, opening letters, boxes, envelopes, dog food, cat food, fertilizer, mulch, cases of water, whatever you're opening. This is going to be fun, right? But if you're smaller hands and you wanted something that really was well fitted, I think this would be nice. Really, really nice. If you're looking for something that's going to present well in your hand, this is right on the border. This one right here, I mean, the Dread Eye is right on the border, extra large hands with meaty fingers. This is right at I wouldn't go smaller than this. It works because I can choke up on this. Matthew Christensen and Christensen Knife Works, he he really made this nice so that you could choke up comfortably and really use this thing. And that's nice for me because it's comfortable. I can pull up, I can get tight into the grip. That works. That works for me. This one is just a little too steep, and it's got some, I mean, this is where it's a little edgy on the two sides, and so if I did a lot of work going back and forth, this would start to dig in, cause blisters, probably cut me. So, you know, those are things that I consider hard use for. So, yeah, I'm glad I got to check it out. I really appreciate Kevin, Lefty EDC, and the pass around. Thank you to all of those guys. But thank you most of all to Axial Knives for letting me check it out. I like this Axial. If you happen to see this, I'm a small channel. You may not care. But if you see this and you want my recommendation, the one thing I would say is do a little bit bigger one. This is a nice design. If I was to say to make this knife have a broader appeal for other people, there's about 3 or 4 things I would do. One, get some jimping on the spine, as always important on a fixed blade. This little finger guard here, this is really sharp. It's really sharp here. Round that off and don't make it as steep, right? Or make the handle come down a little bit so it's not digging in. And because as I dig in, that sharpness really bothers me. I can't really choke up on it. I can feel that edge all the way across here. As a matter of fact, does it scrape on my nail? Is it sharp enough? No, it's not sharp enough, but it's almost scraping on the nail, right? So that's a reality there. So, you know, you got to keep that in mind. That would be a couple things. Now, right now, we said it was like, what, 7 inches? What did I say, 6 3/4 or something like that? Yeah, make this like a 7.5-inch knife. Maybe an 8-inch knife, 7 3/8, or a full 8 inches. I think this knife has some potential. Give some texture on the handle, especially on the top of the spine back here. I get the whole micarta thing might be nice, but micarta does wear down and get a little wet and slick, so something a little more texture, especially if it's titanium. I like the overall look of it. Just expand it. Take the corners off. A little jimping here. More texture back here would be nice. Yeah, I'm cool with the thinness of the blade, because if that's the intent. But if it's going to be a bigger blade, you might consider it just a little bit thicker, right? I like that. So those are my recommendations for this knife, to be something that I would definitely put into my collection and use. Right now, I'm glad I didn't purchase it, because it would absolutely be a catch and release immediately. It's too small. But that's just for me. Like I said, if you like small knives, if you've got smaller hands, this may be fantastic. You may love this. And, you know, this particular version, the titanium one, you can put these optional scales in there. These pop out and put these scales in. I think that's kind of cool. It's definitely something to consider with the knife. You may really dig that. And if you're a big lanyard fan, I mean, this is a nice way to do the lanyard. It's not going to stick out, but there you go. So, yeah, that's where I stand on it. I think it's a cool knife. I'm glad I got a chance to check it out. I appreciate Axial Knives, and then I appreciate Lefty EDC for giving me a chance to check this out. So, recommend it with the caveat, smaller hands or people who love really small knives. That's my only thing. If you're a person looking for a good presentation, you got bigger hands, meaty fingers like me, you may think twice about this. That's my recommendation, at least. You know, there are other knives out there that might fit a little bit better, might be a little more comfortable. Right off the top, the McNeese Ridge Runner, or Ridge Runner. I don't know, it's Ridge something. It's a great knife. It got Blade Show Knife of the Year in Atlanta's fixed blade. It's awesome. I love it. Definitely recommend that for a little bit bigger, right? But if you like smaller, if that's too big and you wanted something smaller, there you go. I mean, tactile knife would work, but this one would work quite as well. So that's where I stand on that. So yeah. Hey, thanks for watching. If you found this content fun, interesting, worthwhile, or informative, would you please consider hitting the like button down below? If you've already hit that like button, would you please consider hitting the subscribe button down below? Subscribing and liking the videos really helps out the channel, allows the channel to produce more content, do more things, ultimately do more things for you guys. So thank you to everyone who watches the videos, who enjoys the content, who comments here, who's part of the live stream, who, you know, just part of everything. Thank you to you guys. I really do appreciate you so very much. If you haven't already, maybe hit that notification button down below so you can be notified of future content like this video. And a big shout out to all the channel members out there. I am so grateful to you guys. I appreciate you so very much. This channel allows me and this channel to do things way sooner than I ever thought I would be able to do. And I'm so grateful to you guys. And I want to show my appreciation with 2 things. One, I do a once a month members exclusive giveaway. Usually make it a very nice exclusive giveaway. That's the first thing. Not just a little budget banger, though. I love to give a budget banger every week. I make sure that the members giveaway is something a little bit nicer, right? It's not maybe a premium knife, but it's definitely going to be not a budget knife. So That's my first way. The second way is also, if you're a brand new channel member, I'd like to send you a channel member sticker. My way to say thank you. Thank you to you for that. And so if you like a sticker or you want to, be part of the members giveaway, hey, I'd love to have you. But please don't ever feel obligated or pressured into joining as a member. I want you to want to be a channel member, right? And if that's the case, then welcome aboard. I appreciate you. Thank you. That's awesome. I enjoy that part of this knife channel and this journey. I am not a full-time knife dude. I do this part-time because I have a full-time job, but I love doing this. This is so much fun. And I appreciate the community that I'm part of. So I just want to say thank you to you guys out there. Also, if you haven't already, maybe check me out over here on Instagram at Robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at Robs_nerdy_knives on Instagram. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.